Good morning. You find me off up the hill to carry on doing my work on clearing the fire break. It's quite a gloomy, chilly day today, but I don't mind that. I actually much prefer doing this sort of quite physical work when it's a bit chilly. No doubt my jacket will come off at some point. You'll notice though that I'm on foot, and there was something I wanted to ask you. We, as you may or may not know, acquired a Subaru Brumby, which is a small ute, a while ago, and it's very suitable for the sorts of things that we need to do on the property. So it's got a little tray, which means that I can put garden waste and things like I'll be generating today in the back. Sorry, I'm about to start walking up a hill, so if I sound a bit out of breath, that's why. And it's four-wheel drive, which we need because we're on a hill. Sticky, horrible hill. Anyway, but recently it's had problems starting. Now, I don't know if that's because the battery is old and just needs to be replaced, or if this is something that's common with cars of a certain vintage. The Brumby is 1980s, 1989 I think. So I'm just not sure if that's somehow a factor. Now obviously I was alive in 1989, but I wasn't driving, being 9 years old. So if any of you remember driving cars from that sort of vintage, is there some sort of trick to start them in winter? It can often be about zero when we try to start it in the morning, but we've noticed that sometimes, although it might not start in the morning, it will start in the afternoon. So if you have any thoughts about what's going on there, I'd be very grateful, because it would mean that right now I'd be in a car rather than slogging up this hill. This is one of the little delights of this time of year. It's the little native heather. I think this is the state flower of Victoria. I think I might have mentioned it last year and said almost exactly the same thing. I'm pretty sure it is. It's very subtle. We actually have quite a lot more of it this year than in previous years, and I think that's because of the clearing work, creating a better environment for it. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Lovely little flower, very jolly in the depths of winter. I don't know if you can hear me, but as you can see and as you will have seen, we've spent the weekend at the Seaside, Will's family have got a little house near the beach, and I love the beach, especially in winter. So the sea's a lot more dramatic today than it was previously. We've been on a lovely walk and we're just heading back home now. Good afternoon. You find me up in the woods behind the house. I was processing wood this morning, which is what I usually do on a Tuesday morning. So that's processing wood for the fire for the week, hence why I'm a little bit grubby looking. But now it's the afternoon and I've come up to start an additional project which is on the back of that. And I'll just quickly explain what I'm doing and why, but I won't go into too much detail or like do fancy filming of me doing it all in slow-mo or whatever. So I'll spin you around and we can have a look. Essentially, as you may know, these are the woods behind the house, which is further down the hill this way. And what I've been doing is, after the bushfire came through, a lot of the trees up here died, or at least the above ground part of them died, and they started to sprout up from the base. So in order to generate firewood, but more importantly in order to protect the property from another bushfire, I've been taking those out. But also what I was doing, as I was saying, some of them were sprouting up from the bottom again. So I've also been removing that as I've been going and putting it in little piles. I've been chopping the trees into lengths which I've been transporting down for the firewood. And as I go up the tree, as it gets thinner and thinner, I take some of the really thin wood for second kindling. And then the bits right at the top, the really sort of ratty, scruffy, spiky stuff like this, I've been setting aside again, along with the regrowth from the base. And this is material that is going to go on the bonfire. And all up here, although it would be difficult, I think, for you to see, but all up here there are little piles of wood. And leaves and second kindling. And what I'm going to do now, as you saw, I came up in the Brumby. I'm going to start putting the leaves and the very, very tops of the trees into the back of the Brumby to take it down to form a component of my next bonfire. The reason that I'm doing that is that, I mean, as you can see, there are plenty of sticks and leaves naturally all over the woodland floor. But I think it's important for me to remove anything that I generate. What I don't want to do is add to the fuel load up here. This will be the stuff that goes on fire during a bushfire, which then sets the trees on fire. They would usually creep along the ground, and the fuel on the ground is what fans them to go up and up and up into the canopy. So I don't want to contribute to that, and now is a good opportunity to get rid of this stuff whilst I am able to have a bonfire. I'm particularly keen to get this done this year because we were warned that the 2023-24 bushfire season could be a particularly bad one. There's a number of factors that play into that, and that includes how much regrowth and vegetation there is. And as you can see from my little example, there's a lot. The woods didn't used to look like this. And there's also quite a lot of vegetation close to the ground because this is new growth. And also, as I say, like you can see in this example here, a lot of the trees regenerated from the bottom. So up here it just used to be a whole load of sticks nothing at ground level and then leaves at the top. But now what we have is like a band of vegetation, a band of nothing, and then a band of leaves right at the top. And this is very vulnerable to going on fire. In fact, you know, it's worse now than it was before the fire went through in terms of fire danger potential. So there's that, but there's also several climatic factors which affect Australia to do with the Indian Ocean and to do with whether it's an El Nino or La Nina year. So they're predicting it could be very bad this summer. So I want to do everything I absolutely can to get my property ready, which means starting to remove this, which is what I will be doing for the rest of the afternoon. Good morning! I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but as you can see I'm in my car, just waiting for the windscreen to defrost, because I'm off into town to do our fortnightly grocery shopping and to run some of the chores that we need to run. I always hope that, like, I don't know if this is the same for you, I always hope like my list of chores will diminish, but every week like more and more and more gets added on. So I'm going to collect the groceries, I've got to put fuel in the car, I've got to go and pick up manure from Bunnings, I've got to get some rope for the fire door on the range, I've got to return the cable that we borrowed from trying to fix the generator. I might hit the shops and go and look for another couple of bits and pieces. Oh yeah, Will wants some extra keys cut for the Brumby, so I've given up hoping that this will be a quick there and back sort of affair, and I've decided that Thursdays are just going to have to be off the property days. At least it's only every other week. So anyway, that's just how it goes. I might bring you along to some things, but I don't know, it's not going to be massively exciting, except for one thing actually. I'll keep that up my sleeve, but I'll maybe show you later depending on how that goes. So hopefully it won't be too long before my windscreen's defrosted, the rear's coming along quite nicely, and I'll be off on my way. Okay, I'm in town. My exciting thing is underway, so we'll wait and see how exciting it ends up being. I'm heading up now though to get some spare keys cut for the Brumby. It's a lovely day, even if I do feel like a bit of a bellend wearing sunglasses in winter. The sun here is so bright, no matter the time of year. Just leaving a shop, hence sunglasses off. Picked up a couple of things for Will for Christmas, so that's for me to know and you all to find out. I'm afraid we're going to have to end on an anticlimax as far as this jaunt goes. I just went to collect the exciting thing that I had done, but it had been done incorrectly and there's not going to be a chance for them to do it today. So I'm heading home and hopefully I'll either get it in the post or I'll just have to go with what I had done originally. So one way or another you'll see what I had done. It just may not be quite what I was hoping for.